What's up, guys? It's Matt Jackson, and I'm your host of the Brand Up Your Business podcast. Welcome to episode 7. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about why your brand isn't growing and how to fix it. So, branding is huge, and it's important that you understand that you got to track all of your metrics throughout the game. You can't just put something out there and expect stuff to stick on the wall because that's not how the world works. That's not reality of the situation. So, what we want to do here is make sure everything is calculated and figure out ways of tracking stuff so we know that our brand is sticking and our brand is growing. You see guys all over the place, they put something out online and they think, okay, everybody has seen that. The world has seen that. But that's not the case. So, what we're going to talk about today is what do we do? What do I do? And what do the branding experts recommend to do in order to grow that brand continuously and not get lost in the noise? So, I'm going to kick this thing off. Welcome back to Brand Up Your Business. I'm your host, Matt Jackson, and today we're going to be talking about why your brand isn't growing and, more importantly, how to fix it. I know what it's like to feel stuck. You're putting in the work, you got a logo, a social media page, maybe even running some ads, but the traction just isn't there. The leads aren't rolling in like you expected, and you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? I've been there. When I first started my pressure washing business, Matt the Driveway Guy, I thought all I had to do was create a Facebook page, post some pictures, and boom, customers would show up. But guess what? Nothing happened. Crickets. Shocker, right? And another thing too, when you think about it, when you just start out, you're so worried that everybody's going to judge you and everybody's going to look at your postings as, oh, this guy's stupid. I'm blowing up my friend group. They don't really see your stuff. I hate to break it to everybody. You could post 100 times a day and not everybody would see your stuff. So it wasn't until I fixed 3 major problems with my branding that things finally took off. And today I'm going to be sharing that with you. So if you're struggling to get customers, grow your brand, or make more money in your business, stick with me. By the end of this episode, you're going to have actionable steps that you can take today to start turning things around. All right, let's dive in. Problem 1, your brand isn't clear. All right, first problem, your brand isn't clear. So what do I mean by that? When I go to somebody's website and I have no idea what they do, that's a sign of an issue. You want your brand to instantly connect with people and those people instantly know what you do, because otherwise there's going to be a branding issue there and people aren't going to know what you do and there's going to be confusion. And that's the entire point of a brand. If you're not branding correctly, you're branding yourself incorrectly and you're telling the world you're not doing what you are supposed to be doing. And that's going to be a deal breaker for you. A lot of times we don't even know this is a thing. So that's why it's really important that we have actionable steps and metrics to track so we can make sure this isn't happening to us, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. So I see this all the time when I talk to my fellow business owner friends, checking on their websites, their Instagrams, and within 5 seconds, I'm totally confused. And I'm sure there's plenty of things where you do and you feel the same way. Whether you're driving down the road and you see somebody's got a wrap truck and say that truck says like Jimmy's Exteriors. Okay, Jimmy, what do? You work on exteriors of what? Houses, businesses, books? Like, we need to be really specific. When you drive down the road, you want something to be in your face. Everybody knows when you go down the road and you see that billboard of that defense attorney or somebody who's like really in your face, you look at it instantly, you already know what it is. That is what we're trying to get with our brand. So if you look at your own business and you look at your marketing or you look at your company and you look at, say, your truck's parked on the side of the road in front of a customer's house, do the neighbors know what you're doing there? And if not, why is that? It isn't one of those things where you say, oh, word of mouth. I'm going to play, everybody knows me from word of mouth. Well, the economy in today's world is kind of rough. And even people who are doing things correctly are struggling to get business. So it's extremely vital, especially in 2025, that we correct our branding and we really change things up so people can identify what we do instantly. That instant connection that we're going to have, whether it be positive or negative, is going to create an emotion tied to our business. So if we don't tie a correct emotion to our business, there's going to be a negative one. And your selling price, your value to the customer is going to be instantly created on that point. That's why this is extremely important. So let's break this down even further. Say you're posting on social media. One post is about one service, and then the next post is something completely different. If you're on Facebook, or if you're on Instagram or whatever platform you choose, you're all over the place with posting. There's no common ground. There's nothing that's systematized. There's no order to it. It's just pure chaos. Customers are going to be confused because remember what I just said in this past segment. Customers aren't seeing everything you're posting. So you want to make sure that every post you have is intentional and every post is going to capture somebody's attention that's never seen what you have started. So we really want to dial in with what our customers need from us. Otherwise, we're going to get lost in the noise and customers are going to be confused. So no matter how hard we work trying to push this, it's going to be sending mixed signals, and that's not good to anybody. However, what we want to do here is make sure everything is coordinated appropriately. We want to make our business name match what we do. So if your business name is Jimmy's Exterior, you're not really doing any service to yourself because there's no clear and definitive method of what you do. And that's why people are confused from the start, and you're probably having problems landing customers. Or the customers you are landing, you have to explain things to them, and that's not the best way to start off a customer relationship when it comes to selling value in yourself and your business. Number two, there's no tagline. The tagline is where if you are Jimmy's Exterior, you must have a tagline where you fill in the blank there where people are, okay, Jimmy's Exterior, the number one pressure washing cleaning company in Jacksonville, Florida. There you go. That fills in that void, that blank that people have where they don't know what you do based upon Jimmy's Exterior. And in my business, Matt the Driveway Guy, okay, do I do concrete? Do I do asphalt? Do I do pressure washing driveways? My tagline is professional cleaning from a friendly neighbor. So instantly, I am talking about pressure washing. And my logo displays it with a giant character emoji of somebody holding a pressure washing wand. So I've been able to create this with my tagline and with my logo where people have associated pressure washing with just call Matt. And that's what we want to do if we want to have a personal brand such as Jimmy's Exteriors. Just call Jimmy, because we've used a tagline and a great logo to associate our name with what we do in our industry. If you're confused of what I'm talking about, your customers probably are confused too. And that's where we want to really button everything up and tie things together so we don't have to worry about creating a brand that's not tying correctly and associating correctly with people. So the confused mind will always say no. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality of the fact. If you're confused, you're not going to go ahead with something because you don't know what it is. You don't care. We're dealing with enough decisions in our life. We want to convey certainty and you are the number one option. And this is what you do right off the bat. Otherwise, people are going to go elsewhere and they're going to think of something else. They're not looking at you thinking about, oh, I want to help this guy out. He has a business. You need to create that solution to a problem that they have. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by being in their face and saying, look at me, this is what I do. I can solve your problem. And if you're confusing them, there's no emotion there. They're just going to look past you. It's worse than being a bad emotion. It's lost in the void. We see so many things in today's world. I don't know the true statistic, but it's like we see like 50,000 things a day that we have to make a decision upon. And our brain is constantly filtering stuff out. So if there's any confusion there, you're going to be lost in that void. We want to be bold, we want to be to the point, and we want to be intentional. That way our customers see us and instantly know us. So I want you to think about the last time you went to a website and you couldn't tell what the company actually did. What did you do? If you're like me, you probably left. And that's exactly what your potential customers are doing when they land on your page and they don't immediately understand who you are, what you do, and why it matters. So let me tell you a quick story. This is about the power of clarity with my pressure washing business. Back when I started Matt the Driveway Guy, I was just throwing out random messaging. We clean houses and driveways. We do exterior cleaning. Sounds okay, right? But guess what? Nobody cared. It wasn't clear, it wasn't compelling, and it didn't tell people what was in it for them. Then I shifted my message. I started saying, we help homeowners in Greenville, South Carolina, restore their property's curb appeal with professional pressure washing. This is kind of where I was talking about with my tagline. The slogan I associated with was professional quality cleaning from a friendly neighbor. I wanted to tell people the emotion associated with Matt the Driveway Guy. I wasn't a pressure washing company. I was Matt. a professional company from a friendly neighbor. People got a professional quality service from their next door neighbor. And being in South Carolina, in Greenville, South Carolina, where it's a small town, people value that quick, simple, down to earth, friendly, trustworthy neighbor. And that was the emotion that I created with Matt the Driveway Guy. I made sure to carry that through the tagline and carry it through my logo animation, and I carry it through everything in my branding. And that is the clarity I want you guys to have. So here we go. I shifted the message from I'm a pressure washer, or I'm going to clean your house, or I'm going to use soft washing techniques to clean off the algae of your house, to we help homeowners in Greenville, South Carolina restore their property's curb appeal with professional pressure washing. They don't care about the tools, the techniques, or the equipment we have. They care more about who's going to do it, what's the result going to be, and how they're going to feel. So there you go. Boom. Simple, clear, and immediately show that benefit. Remember, the features are not important. We want to talk about the benefits. And if you're new to this, a feature would be soft washing your house. A benefit would be your house is clean. You no longer have to worry about having an unsightly house in the neighborhood. You no longer have to worry about the HOA coming at you with those letters. You don't have to feel embarrassed when you have people drive by your house or your neighbors talk about how dirty your house is and joke to you on when you're going to have it cleaned. Features don't really move the needle. The emotion moves the needle. So that emotion is going to be the benefit to the person. They don't care about what you do. They care about how that makes them feel. Figure that out and sell that, which is the benefit. So if you're struggling to grow, ask yourself this. Can you explain your business in one sentence? Does your website and social media immediately tell customers what you do? If not, that's step one. Fix your brand's clarity. In this world, we want to relate to people's emotions. We're human beings. We're not technical species. We don't care about the details. We don't care about the nuances. We don't care about stuff that's high level and not emotional. In fact, the more you say about the features, the more you say about your equipment, the more you say about, oh, this is what we can do technically, the less people care. The more you're pulling people out of that emotional state of, I desire to have this done. And that's how people make decisions. We make decisions based upon feelings and emotions, and we back those up with facts. So if you're able to convey and pull on the heartstrings of people with their emotions via the benefits of what your service provides to them, and if you can communicate that clearly to them in your brand, you will win off the bat. And the complete objective of working on your brand is to understand that and put that in every piece of your marketing and your branding and your company. That way, you're creating an emotional journey to the finish line, which is the sale of your company to the customer. So if that's not step one, and if that doesn't sound right to you, we want to work on that and fix that brand clarity. So if you're Jimmy's Exterior, figure out how you can connect the dots to your customer. Tell them Jimmy's Exterior bricklaying, Jimmy's Exterior pressure washing. Make it personable, make it fun, make it emotional, and make people instantly understand what you're doing so they can directly connect an emotion to that and they can say, that's the guy I'm going to call. I don't have to figure out what he does. I don't have to figure out this or that, because once you get people to try to figure something out, you've already lost them. Remember, clarity creates that emotional connection to your business, makes it simple, makes it fun, and they're going to look at you and go with you as opposed to try to figure out what the other guy's doing. So that was problem one. That's a huge one. If you can't figure that out, make sure to really focus and try to correct that, because that one step can completely change your business and your path and is extremely important to fix. So now that we've discussed that, let's move on to number two. The second problem here, you're not showing up enough. This is a thing too, in the beginning I struggled with, because I thought I was blowing up my Facebook, my social media. I was like, people are sick and tired of seeing all my stuff. However, that's not necessarily the case. And Facebook even admits that not everybody sees every post. So there's companies out there that are posting 100 times a day. Now, I think that's a lot, because the amount of customers I have and the amount of work I have wouldn't necessarily need me to post 100 times a day. But that's how these guys are getting massive reach because not everybody's going to see every piece of content you're going to write. So for us, I recommend at least posting once a day, maybe twice a day. And if you're posting once a week or even less, you're probably not being seen by anything. And I've been testing this with my personal Facebook. I've been posting on my personal Facebook about once a day, and I shoot to get about 1,000 or so views and engagements per those posts. So when I went from not posting anything, I was probably getting 5,000 views a month. And by posting daily, I'm getting 30,000 plus views a month. So it's just kind of simple math here. The more you post, the more you're being seen. So let's get to number two. Mistake number two, you're not showing up enough. Make sure to post. That's the most simple, basic way to get ahead. Post in groups, post on your personal page, post on your business page, share stuff and engage. For crying out loud, it's called social media for a reason. They will encourage you not to be a viewer and not to be a lurker, but to post and contribute to the conversation. That's how you're really going to grow your business, your brand, and the algorithm's going to favor you and they're going to really push your content forward and ahead. You're not going to be seen as much if you don't post often. And I get it, you're busy, but you don't have time to post every day. And maybe you feel like you already tried posting, but it didn't get much engagement. However, the reality of the fact is you need to post more often. People need to see your brand multiple times before they trust you. Here's a sales statistic. People need to buy. If somebody's going to buy from you, they need to see your post or they need to have a contact with you at least 12 times before a buying decision is made. Now, that's a lot. If you're reaching out to somebody, they've probably been following you a lot on social media, and you can sell yourself via your brand on your social media channels. And that's where this new age is awesome because you don't have to cold call somebody. You don't have to go to somebody's house. You don't have to follow up with somebody. You can post regularly and people will follow you and see you for months or years on social media and they feel like they know you. And you're creating that trust factor where people are going to continuously view you as an expert in what you do. And that's what I've been able to grow and do with Matt the Driveway Guy because there's plenty of social proof. People can follow journey of pressure washing houses, follow the journey of growing the business. And then when a few years down the road, they decide to have their house cleaned or they move or there's an opportunity where they need my service, they reach out. Even if they don't personally reach out, they're referring people. And that's the beauty of posting a lot, posting often. So the rule of 7, this is a great rule that I'm going to discuss here. There's an old marketing rule called the rule of 7. It says that people need to see your brand 7 times before they even consider buying from you. However, in today's world, it's probably, like I was saying, closer to 12 times. So if you're posting once a week, it could take somebody almost 2 months before you're even thinking about buying from you. That's why we're too slow here. This is the point of the entire section here. We want to post more and post often because you're able to accelerate that rule of 7 or rule of 12 or whatever it's going to be, because in today's world, we're bombarded by so much information. I believe 12 is going to be the real rule for this situation. We want to post more, post often, and because in the internet space, if I can post daily, which is the experiment I just did, I was able to touch 30,000 people. So if you're all about door knocking or if you're all about, oh, I know people in my church, that's great. But if you can post on social media once a day and get 30,000 views, I'm going to forever beat you because this will scale up as I keep going. I'm not saying to cut out talking to people in your church or people in your company or say you have a W-2 job or something like that. I'm not saying don't do those activities. I'm saying stack those activities with consistency on social media posting and consistency on doing flyers and consistency on something else. That way, everything is being multiplied out. Again, in today's world, people are so bombarded by things, whether it's TV commercials, social media. Like we need to be above and beyond what is normal or what other people are doing. And that's where post more times than you can. Post more, post often, and make sure you're posting intentionally and posting the same thing. So here's my experience with posting more. I'll be real with you guys. When I started posting daily about my business, my sales doubled. Well, at first I was hesitant and I thought, man, people are really going to get sick of seeing me. But guess what? The opposite actually happened. more people saw my post and more people started trusting me. And suddenly I had a flood of leads. I went from waiting on customers to having booked out schedule. And the fall to the winter to the early part of the year is a slower season in pressure washing. And by posting daily, by posting reels, by working on my ads and keeping consistency there, I was really able to control my leads and make them go deeper into the year than previously when I wasn't posting as often. So I look at the statistics, I look at the views, and I also look at my revenue. And my revenue was able to really grow in times where normally it hasn't grown. And I really attribute that to posting as often as I have been. You're also giving people who are your top fans, people are seeing you post often and you're creating that authority in the space. They're saying, hey, this guy's slam packed full of work. He must be good. I'm going to call him. So super important to keep posting. So actionable fix. You want to show up more. Here's how to do that. Post 3 to 5 times a week. So you don't necessarily have to post on the weekends if you don't want to. Let's just start with 3 to 5 times a week. You don't want to rely on just one post. Be consistent with it. You can also repurpose these posts. So if you're posting something on Instagram, you can post that on Facebook. If you're posting something on YouTube, you can clip it down, put it on Instagram, you can put it on Facebook. You want to be on multiple platforms. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. We're on LinkedIn actually too, because a lot of times we do commercial pressure washing. And I also worked in corporate America. So I have contacts in the corporate space locally where I can tap into that network as well. So we're repurposing all the information. We're repurposing our content across all these different platforms. And it's not something that's taking a ton of our time. And we're being seen by a lot of people on different platforms. So the last one here, use your face and your story. People connect with people. Stop hiding behind your logo. That has been massive for me. And from day one, that's what I've always done. My logo became my face. My trucks have my face on it. It's super important to me that people understand Matt the Driveway Guy as me personally, Matt Jackson. It's one of those things, they know, like, and trust me because of the brand I built. So even with a team, they know my guys report to me and I'm still heavily involved in my business, just on a more managerial role. So call Matt, he'll take care of you. And by using your face in your story and using your face in your posting and your brand, people are going to associate you. And that's that personal connection we were talking about earlier. So if you're not showing up, you're invisible. And if you're invisible, you're not getting sales. Make sure you're showing up and you're not invisible, and you're going to start getting a lot more sales. So let's talk about problem 3. You're not making offers. This is huge. People don't really get this part. And it's kind of funny. A famous sales quote, because I came from the sales world, of course. It's like, people aren't closing deals. What's the point? In sales, your objective is to move and close the deal. If you're not closing the deal, you didn't do your job and you're going to get fired. So you can't close a deal if you're not making an offer. We need to make more offers because people aren't seeing all of our offers. The same concept with posting on social media is with these offers. So a lot of times people don't see our offers. They don't see our sales. They don't see our specials. They don't see what's going on. They don't see things that we're trying to do to move the needle and drive revenue. I can't tell you how many times I've checked out a business's page and thought, where's the call to action? What does that mean? A call to action is, how do I get in touch with this person? What's the next step? I look at all these guys' posts and they have awesome content, but there's no direction that they're trying to drive me towards. That's going to be called the call to action. So the call to action is really what you want, ultimately what you want to do to drive somebody into making an action. Pretty simple, right? That's what the name is. So in my world, pressure washing with Matt the Driveway Guy, we want to get your attention. So we have a hook. The hook will be like, look how nasty this house was and how we got it clean within 30 minutes. Wow, it's a really satisfying video. Got your attention. Now we're going to say something to create interest. The interest is going to be like, we were able to add $5,000 of value to the house because now it's clean and sparkling, and the guy feels great when he comes home. So there's interest and desire. That desire is going to be that emotion that we wanted to create. So now we've painted an image in somebody's head that, wow, that was a dirty home. I'm noticing now my home is dirty. And we created that interest there, as well as the desire, because we've shown, wow, that guy feels good about his clean home where he comes home to work every day. And that's something he can look at and say, wow, I have the cleanest house on the block. That's that emotion that you're going to start to see, wow, I will feel that way too if I had my house pressure washed. And then there's going to be a call to action. So that call to action is going to say, hey, for a limited time, we're filling up this week with a sale discount because it's the preseason sale. If you only go to mattthedrivewayguy.com and enter code SPRING15, you get 15% off your cleaning. That's going to be the call to action. So whenever you're making posts, make sure to have a call to action on every post. You don't want to just say, this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what we do. We want to say, this is what we do, this is how we make you feel, and this is how you go forward to feel that way. It's extremely important that you follow that pattern. So every time you're asking for the sale, because you may touch somebody that is ready to make that decision. That's going to be a hot customer. And even a warm customer, they may be like, you know what? This guy's great, but I don't know the objective of it. And if he's held up, and if he's a cold customer and he's just watching and he likes your content, he's going to say, every week for the last year, this guy has asked for me to have my house pressure washed from him, or for me to have this service done with him. I'm ready for it now. You're giving people a decision. Do I proceed forward or do I not? So they're going to read this and they're going to constantly have that emotion of like, yeah, cool, I'm going forward. I want this. And that's why it's extremely important, because that's that point where you're driving somebody to make action. A call to action is vital, because if you don't have a call to action, they're just going to get hung up and lost. Oh, cool. It's like meeting somebody, liking somebody, and never asking them out. If you're trying to have a relationship with somebody and there's no communication of what's the next step, they're not going to go forward with you. And that's what we want to avoid with our business and with our branding and our marketing. We always want to have that call to action. So people don't want to have to make a decision themselves. They want to follow your lead. And if you can suggest them to go forward with a call to action, most of the times people will go forward. So let's talk about how we're going to break what the call to action down is. So if you don't ask for the sale, you will never get the sale. Here's an example: the power of just asking. I remember one week when I started my pressure washing business, I was posting content, but I wasn't directly asking people to book. Then one day I said, hey, I got 2 spots left this week for house washing. Who wants one? Within an hour, 3 people messaged me just because I had asked. So how to make more offers? Use simple call to actions. Click the link, DM me for details, book your free quote today. Make these offers daily. Because again, like I said, you don't know who's watching and who's been watching for a long time. Or somebody might stumble across your video and say, you know what? I want that done right now. I was just thinking about that and this happened to pop into my feed in front of me and I am ready to take action. Make these offers daily. Mention your services at least once a day on social media. Follow up with leads. Make them sales happen after the 5th or 6th follow-up. Again, sometimes somebody will say, hey, I'm ready to do this. They'll send you a text message. They'll send you an email. Make sure you're following up with these people too. There's a few people in my CRM where they will take 6 months and they'll say, okay, I'm ready now. Higher ticket stuff we offer. That's going to be like our ceiling jobs. Say it's a $5,000 or $10,000 project. We will quote them, talk to them, try to close them in 2023. And in January of 2025, they say, you know what, I'm ready. It's important to stay on people. It's important to give them calls to action, and you follow up with calls to action. Because just because somebody's not ready now doesn't mean they're not interested. So if you're not making offers, you're leaving money on the table. Start today. Every time you post, make a call to action. So what are the final takeaways and calls to action that you can implement today to get clarity in your brand, to convey emotion to your brand, and to drive action with a call to action? So let's wrap this up. Here's your recap. Fix your brand clarity. Make that message simple and clear. We don't want to complicate people with technical. We don't want to make them think about stuff, because once they think about stuff, you've already lost that emotional connection. And remember, people buy with emotion. Don't drive them out of their emotional self with technical information. A lot of times, if we're talking too much, we will talk ourselves out of a deal because we get into their head and they're no longer interested because they're thinking about it. Keep it short, sell that benefit to them. Remember what I was saying, the difference between a feature is the technical and the benefit is that emotion. Sell the emotion, sell the feature, or don't sell the benefit, back it up with the technical, which is the data, which is of the feature. So you're selling that benefit and you're backing it up with data of the feature. Don't flip those around, because if you start selling features, you already lost them. Number two, show up more. Be consistent and post more frequently. Remember, I was saying the law of sevens. Now I'd say it's probably the law of 12s. People don't care. They're so inundated by stuff. Most of what they see, you're just in a mindless scroll, and they're going to look at what you have to do and they're not going to care. So be more in front of people, post more often, be consistent with your post frequency. And then thirdly, make more offers. Start asking for the sale. If you're not posting every day with a clear brand clarity, make that message simple and clear. You want to create emotion in people, showing up more often, posting more often. Remember, like post once a day. And then once you're posting, make the offer. Close every post with an offer. Ask for the sale. How are you doing today, Mr. Customer? This product is going to make you feel great. You feel great? Yeah, I feel great. Cool. How about you go forward and let me give your contact information. I'll give you a call tomorrow. That sounds great. There you go. It's pretty simple. Don't overcomplicate this. So here's your action step. Pick one of these things to fix this week. We don't have to overcomplicate things. We don't have to do too much at once. Just pick one of them. Fix the brand clarity, show up more often, and make more offers. So if you're ready to take your brand to the next level, we have an offer here. This is going to be the call to action for you guys. You can grab the 7-day brand breakthrough course for just $97. There's going to be a link in the show notes. This is a course I put together because I know you guys have probably seen the Brand Up Your Business book that's got now 16 5-star reviews on Amazon. Make sure to pick that up. There's also an audiobook associated with it, and you can find that audiobook on our YouTube page if you just want to listen to it for free. So this is what is going to be a course, a 7-day brand breakthrough course where we talk about everything in detail. We have a lesson for each day, as well as we're probably going to put it up on Google. So like Google Docs or Google Sheets, where we have step-by-step ways of breaking it down to pretty much develop that brand that we will talk about on every podcast. But it'll be something you can go through at your own pace. It's got all the information needed. And you can go to our Facebook page at Brand Up Your Business, where we have videos and more content there. And we also have a group there. So make sure to make sure to follow Brand Up Your Business on Facebook and join that group, Brand Up Accelerator. We're going to really build this out because branding's huge, awesome, and you can go deeper than the podcast, join our community, and look out for that 7-day brand breakthrough. And if you're a reader, go to Amazon.com and get that Brand Up Your Business book. You got Kindle Unlimited. It is free on there. Just make sure, if you like it, leave a review. So if this episode has helped you, leave us a review on Amazon, share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe. I'll see you next week. And until then, go build your brand and make some money. See you guys.